What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of What's Up With. I'm your host, Adrian Chandler. Let's get right into it. Today I have with me Niahlyn Enos from Basha High School. Say what's up.
Yeah, what's up?
So the first question I have for you is, when did you realize that wrestling was a sport for you? Besides, when did you weed out all the other sports and figure out this is a sport that I want to do?
Well, I first had an interest to want to do wrestling in middle school, but then I had a bunch of friends and my mom convinced me out of it. They convinced me out of it because they were like, you can get all kinds of different injuries. They're like, you can get all these different like type of skin conditions, and it freaked me out in the beginning. But when I went into my freshman year, that's when they first started adding the girls in.
Okay. So they added in the girls wrestling team your freshman year?
Yeah, they did. My history teacher, he was one of the coaches. And he was telling us about it during class, and I thought, maybe this is my actual chance to actually try it. So I went to the meeting and everything. I went to a practice and I fell in love with it. I said, I'm not going to do softball. I'm not going to do basketball anymore. I'm going to focus on wrestling now. When I finally realized of how much I loved it and how much I loved the community of all the girls, even the guys, of all of us supporting each other, I just knew that I wanted to be in this sport.
Do you guys practice together with the boys?
We do. For the first bit, we didn't for a while because I think they were trying to still get us used to being, and they didn't want us to be embarrassed, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Because we were just starting out and these guys have been doing it since middle school.
Right.
But finally now we all practice as one big team and we're doing pretty much the same concepts and the same
How
stuff
is that going against the boys in practice?
Sometimes it depends on your weight classes. Sometimes like more girls are more chill with the dudes that they'll wrestle. Like I haven't wrestled anybody yet in the boys, but a bunch of other girls have too before.
What age did you first start wrestling? You said you had a passion for it when you were younger, but then your parents convinced you, or you just found the passion for it since you've been in high school?
Well, I had the like inkling thought that I should do wrestling when I was probably middle school because they had different sports signups. But as soon as I went in to high school, I knew instantly that I wanted to do it regardless of anything. I was probably I think I was 14 at the time. I've been wrestling for 3 years now because I started out my freshman year and now I'm a junior. So I've been wrestling those 3 years.
Is that something you're trying to pursue in college?
I've had a lot of offers from different community colleges already.
That's dope.
And it's really awesome that they want girls now wrestling more.
What do you like most about wrestling? Like, what is your favorite part about it? Is like the community, like interacting with your teammates, or something?
Yeah, I think my favorite part absolutely is definitely the community. I've met a bunch of my good friends in there, and I've even convinced since then, like a bunch of my other friends to come and join. So I have a bunch of friends in there. We just talk to each other. No matter what is happening, people have different lives, people have different backgrounds, but we all just put that aside and we focus on one thing and we focus on wrestling. It just feels great to be in that room because you feel like you're never judged about anything.
What does the projection look like for your team this year?
So far, for our boys, they're doing actually pretty well. For our girls, actually, we had a meet last Tuesday, I believe, and we won 36-0 for home.
Wow.
So I'd say that we're doing pretty well.
Blowout. Yeah, that's a little bit better than pretty well.
Very well, and I'm very proud of them too.
Do you guys have to wrestle with mask on?
Yes, we have to wrestle with masks on. We're trying to get over that as well because it, of course, tires you out a little bit more. Right now, that's what we're mainly focusing on, is on how we're going to overcome that stage and make sure that we can be the best that we can be.
What was the reaction like when you found out the season was going to be canceled? I talked to a lot of seniors so far about it, and I've known that they were like heartbroken. But being a junior, was it just as heartbreaking to find out that you wouldn't have a season?
For me, it really was, because I had actually injured myself my sophomore year and I couldn't wrestle like the big competitions and big tournaments that I wanted to go to. I ended up hurting myself so much that I had to get surgery. So I tore my meniscus in my right leg. So I was kind of crushed that I was like, wow, I did all this physical therapy, I did all of this different type of stuff and I can't wrestle. But then I started to realize like, oh, it's okay. I got next year. There's people out there that are seniors and don't get to do this next year. So I kind of came to terms with it at the end. And then that's when they revoted and I was like, oh, okay. I guess we're going back.
What was the reaction like when they revoted? Was it like when the team come together and was everybody like crying and then they found out it was okay and then we're all rejoicing, or what was the reaction like?
Okay, so the girls, because we all talk to each other outside of wrestling and everything, we were all excited that we got to see each other, that we get to go to practice every day, that we get to do something after school instead of just sitting around and doing nothing.
Yeah, right.
So all of us were just completely happy because we actually had a bunch of new girls join. So they were very happy that they get to have their chance now and they don't have to wait till next year.
Describe your favorite moment wrestling so far, whether it was outside of school or during school. Like it can be during match, it could be outside of match, it could be a game that y'all were playing with your friends at a tournament. Describe it to me.
It's a game that we play in the very beginning of wrestling, is where we put on bands, and this is because we're all new. We have new girls and they don't know any of the technique.
Is that practice?
Yes, it's practice, and they basically, the objective any kind of way is just to get the band off, and it's so fun and funny to watch everybody try to get the two bands that are strapped to your ankles. And that's probably one of my favorite moments because we really honestly, it doesn't care about technique, doesn't care about who has the better moves or more strength. It's more of you're just trying to get those bands in. It really
like you're going against somebody else and the objective is to get the bands off someone else's leg.
Yeah, it's just our coaches just tell us it doesn't matter what you do, just try to get the bands off.
That's super fun. I bet. Is everyone like huddled around like cheering and like yeah,
yeah, because we all get in a big circle and we watch and do different types of stuff like that, and it's really fun.
Is it cool if we play a little rapid fire question game? I'm trying to like throw some questions at you.
Sure.
I'm trying to answer them as fast as possible. All right. What's your favorite food?
Pizza.
Who's your favorite artist?
Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix?
Yeah.
You're old soul? You're old? You like old school?
Yeah, I love Jimi Hendrix, Nirvana, the Beatles.
Okay.
And Niahlyn. I like all of those.
I was expecting like, I don't know, like Chris Brown or something. I don't know. That was way better than what I was expecting though. What's your favorite subject in school?
Favorite subject? History.
Why?
Because I love learning about different stuff, because of course, like you said, I'm an old soul. I like learning different stuff about older things, and like how mainly I like learning about like the lifestyle. It was more simpler times than it is now, and it was more easygoing. So I like learning about different stuff.
How many feet are in a mile?
Feet in a mile is I don't even remember how to convert like that.
It's 5,280. I didn't expect you to know that. It was just
5,280.
5,280. That's how many feet are in a mile.
That's a lot.
There's a lot of feet. Yeah, a mile's pretty long. What's your favorite hobby besides wrestling?
Favorite hobby besides wrestling? Maybe collecting all of my records. I have a bunch of records.
Oh, you have like a vinyl?
Yes, I do.
And you have a record player?
Yep.
Wow, you are an old soul. Wow, that's crazy. So you don't like put your headphones in and would you like huddle up next to the recorder and put the vinyl in and spin and watch it spin?
Yes, I do. And I have one that has like built-in speakers, so I really don't need like another separate speaker. But normally, because I do play a lot of my vinyls for my grandparents, so they found a speaker that hooks up to it, and we all just kind of have like a fun time just sitting there listening to everything that I have.
That's really dope. What's your favorite sports team?
Favorite sports team?
Yeah, you could say Basha wrestling. You could say that.
Honestly, Basha wrestling has to be my favorite.
Why?
We're the best, I guess.
The best?
We're the best. I feel like we are the best because we all support each other. It's not only in wrestling, but like in classes and in a family way, we all make sure that we're all huddled together. That's what our coaches mainly want us to do, is to be a family. He doesn't want us to be those people that ignore each other in the hallways, but to talk to each other and at least say hi and that type of thing.
And how you think you're going to do this year?
I think honestly it could go either way because of course I'm a little rusty still.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's gonna go pretty well for me. And even if I do lose a lot of my matches or I do lose like really big competitions, I know that I'm growing as a wrestler, and I know that I have next year to work on everything. And I know that I'm gonna do really well this year, and a lot better this year than I ever think that I will ever be.
Do you feel like you're going to do better this year than any other years because the preparation you put in, the time off, having time off for COVID, is that like prepared you for this upcoming season? Like, are you?
Yes, that's what I feel. I feel like I'm more prepared this year than I was last year, because last year I felt like I was just more so worried about winning and worried about what my stats and everything like that, and how am I doing well on my team, but I wasn't worried about my own health, so that's why I ended up getting injured. Now that I know that I got to focus, it's not all about winning. Health and even just focusing on technique and knowing that I have to listen to my own self of how I'm going to go out, and I don't need to win, that I can lose and I will learn from it, that type of thing. I want to say is that people should pay attention more to girls wrestling, that we're there too, that we can have just as good as stats as boys can,
Yeah.
that we're just as good as they are. Because a lot of people don't want to stay for our part.
Yeah.
Everybody watches all the boys and then they slowly fade out. They think that we're not going to, they haven't really seen it before. But I think that people should at least try to see at least one girls' match, because it's really fun and it's really interesting to watch. We are more calculated. For girls wrestling, we don't instantly, we have a plan. You can see that we have a plan, that we know what we're going to do, that we don't just go out there and do whatever. And I do see that some boys do that. They kind of rush into it. Girls, and we sit there and we calculate and we make sure that we know, our coaches have told us since the beginning, come up with a plan before you even go out on the mat, before it's even your match day. Come up with a plan on how you're going to defend different things or how you're going to execute different things, which I think is really awesome, because us girls have taken that really seriously.
Yeah.
Also, just the support. It's, I swear, my girls team, we're the loudest in the gym. You can tell that by different videos, that we are the loudest ones in the gym. You can't hear the coaches off to the side. You just hear nothing but us girls. And I feel like that's probably one of the best parts that you see in a girls wrestling match, is that you see the girls team supporting whoever's out on the mat, whether they're a first year person or they've been the most experienced. Yeah.
To hear that you guys are all supporting each other in each other's matches, that's important.
We're even loud during the boys' matches. We'll scream for any for any person that's on our team. If it means that we get to be loud, we get to be loud.
That's dope. That's dope. I appreciate you being on the show, being on the episode.
It's an honor actually to be on this episode completely. Thanks for having me.